Yeah, but very simple approximations of the melody are great, and knowing a good Scruggs style is really important for that. And that's the whole name of that game, is sort of approximating the melody with these really powerful banjo licks that are very specific to the banjo, but are kind of overlap with the melody enough that it sounds like a quite recognizable approximation of it. Yeah.
Do your bandmates back you up when you're doing a solo, or do they just leave you alone?
What do you mean by back you up?
Well, chunk, probably not. They don't. Do they just let you play all by yourself when you take a break?
No. I mean, they're often kind of
diddling around.
Away.
So they don't find that. They're pretty good. Yeah, just something like that.
Yeah, usually they're hopefully trying to stay out of the soloist's way. We tend to get carried away in the Deadly Gentleman a lot. It's kind of our shtick. But yeah, it's a good approach to try to sort of keep the rhythm. If you're backing up a soloist, try to keep the rhythm going. Maybe do things that suggest the melody a little bit. Anyway, other questions? Yes.
How were you doing those triplet runs that you were doing in Whiskey?
Those are all, I think they're all backward rolls. Starting on the thumb, so thumb, middle, index. Yeah, I should probably tab those out, because it's funny, they're surprisingly simple in the sense that they're just the same thing repeated over and over again. But if you practice it enough, it becomes really smooth. It's kind of cool, kind of helicopter method where it sounds like the melody's almost pushed backwards. I'm not playing Fork-a-Deer. I've realized you can actually do any fiddle tune like that, just embellishing it with backward rolls out of a certain family of little positions. Yes?
Could you say something? I know this never happens to you. Is it important, as you're trying some of these things, to practicing by yourself, to play through the mistake rather than to stop when you make the mistake and go back and try it again? I mean,
oh yeah, because real life you got to just play through the mistakes. You got to practice that too. Yeah, I prefer to practice at very slow tempos, like relative to what's actually going to happen in real life, and just really try to play through and make it sound like music. I think it's a pretty important approach to adopt at some point. that was a fiddle tune called Big Sayota. And actually, I've been practicing that song a bunch. That's quite a bit faster than I used to practice it when I learned it. But that's kind of how I would solo on that song these days. I would keep it real close to the melody, and maybe just try to do it in different textures, like instead of going. I would go. Kind of play it down there where it has a different feel, kind of a different sort of drive to it. Well, or if I were going to play little licks and stuff, I was trying to use the sixths, but I'm not sure how well it worked as a demonstration. So the B part of that song has kind of interesting chords. It goes from G, da-da-da-da-da, 5 chord to the D, da-da-da-da-da-da, 4 to the C, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, E minor, da-da-da-da, then 5, and then back to 1. And so you can play over those chords using the sixths and the thirds that we were talking about, try to make some kind of melody. Or you can do things that are kind of more just using scales. Yeah, so I was trying to use them with a combination of arpeggios and scales, but stay anchored, always make a mental note of where the melody is, wherever I am. Yeah?
How often do you actually pick with your red finger?
Oh, well, quite a lot with in the bands that I play in on stage. But for demonstration right now, I'm not really using it. So I do actually, Mike was just pointing out that I have a finger pick on my ring finger. And I do actually use that for a lot of things. I started out as a 3-finger banjo player. And for years I played with 3 fingers, and I anchored these 2 fingers to the head. It's funny, it feels weird to me to do that now. But then, after several years of playing like that, I decided to put on a 4th finger pick and see if it would work. I originally started just so I could play 4-note chords, just pluck 4 notes at the same time. Which worked at first with great difficulty and then got gradually easier. But then once I learned how to do that, I came up with some rolls that you can do with 4 finger picks. And just kind of applied the principles of Scruggs style, which is a strong principled foundation for inventing rolls. So applied the 3-finger method to 4 fingers. So first thing I did was thought to myself, well, in bluegrass banjo in 3-finger style, you have a forward roll, which is 3 thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle. With 4 fingers, a forward roll would be thumb, index, middle, ring. So it'd just be the same thing with 4 notes instead of 3. And sure enough, that's it's much easier to do that particular combination of notes with 4 finger picks on than it is with 3. It's possible with 3, but it gets kind of convoluted because, well, for obvious reasons, 3 fingers and 4 notes can be plucked. So it just kind of can tie you up in a little knot. Then backward rolls, 4-note backward roll. Or forward backward roll. In 3-finger style, the forward backward roll is so 3 notes up, and then you hit a note with your thumb, and then go 3 notes down. But in 4-finger style, it's